In a few moments, the news.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Precisely 1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Ramesh Piris and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The head of state assures to uphold the right of all Sri Lankans to live in peace and harmony by preserving their religious identities. 51,000 unemployed graduates to be given permanent appointments in the state sector from today. Overall, over 4 million people have received the third booster dose. The first cabinet meeting of the new year is scheduled for today. The opposition leader calls on the government to embark on a people-centric program in the new year. Sri Lanka's National Day ceremony at the Expo 2020 Dubai is celebrated today. In international stories, the US president tells Ukraine will respond decisively if Russia invades. In sports, Mohammad Hafiz set to retire from international cricket spanning more than 18 years with Pakistan's side. We move on to local news in detail now. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that the government has assured through actions that Sri Lanka's ancient Buddhist heritage sites are safeguarded and that it will continue to provide patronage to protect the country's values, traditions and customs. He made these observations while addressing the Mahasangha during a ceremony held on Sunday to bestow him with the honorary title of Sri Lankadeshwara Padma Vibhushana by the Kotte Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha. The president said they were able to successfully control the pandemic that engulfed the world for 2 years. President Rajapaksa pledged to protect and nurture the Buddhist philosophy in this country. He said he will always uphold the right of all Sri Lankans to live in peace and harmony by preserving their religious identities and to live with dignity in association with the main culture of this country that persisted throughout history. According to the epidemiology unit of the Health Ministry, 339 new COVID-19 cases were reported so far on Sunday. Accordingly, a total of 587,935 COVID-19 cases have been reported since the beginning of the pandemic. While 11,967 infected patients are currently under medical care at hospitals and homes, 560,949 patients have fully recovered and been discharged from hospitals. Sri Lanka on Sunday reported 24 deaths, raising the total to 15,019. Meanwhile, according to the epidemiology unit report, 5,243 individuals were administered vaccine doses against the coronavirus yesterday. A total of 15,993,676 people have received the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine, and 13,846,323 have received the second dose. In addition, 4,072,350 have received the third booster dose. The first meeting of the Cabinet Ministers for the new year is scheduled to be held. The Cabinet meeting will reportedly commence at 5 p.m. today at the Presidential Secretariat in Colombo, with all ministers notified to attend the meeting. A number of Cabinet papers are set to be taken up for discussion today, as a Cabinet meeting was not held in the final week of the previous year. Wishing all Sri Lankans a Happy New Year, the opposition leader and leader of Samagi Jana Balavegaya, Sajith Premadasa, called on the government to embark on a humble people-centric program. In his New Year message, he reiterated that this critical situation cannot be tackled by holding the agenda of power in our own hands, but by building the country through a collective effort. The Sri Lanka's National Day at the Expo 2020 Dubai will be held today. The National Day ceremony will be inaugurated by Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Piris, the Minister of Tourism Prasanna Ranatunga, and Sri Lanka's pavilion is in operation for a period of 6 months, and the key event for Sri Lanka, being the designated National Day, is today. Expo 2020 Dubai, the global event, commenced on the 1st of October last year and will run until the 31st of March 2022 with the participation of 192 countries. National days are set aside for each country, and today has been allocated for Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan pavilion, located in the Opportunity District, showcases innovative products and services that reflect the rich cultural heritage of the country. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus, the best option.
Continuing with more stories here at home, the Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa would lead a delegation to the vibrant Gujarat Summit to be held from January 10th to the 12th. The Finance Minister is likely to hold talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi during this visit, his second to India in about a month. Minister Rajapaksa will travel to India a day after Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi concludes his 2-day visit to the island nation, signalling Colombo's intensive engagement with both New Delhi and Beijing. Heavy traffic was reported in and around Colombo today as all public servants returned to work. Government schools are reported to be adding the rush hour traffic. All state sector employees have been recalled to duty with effect from today, the 3rd January 2022. The Ministry of Public Services, Provincial Councils and Local Government had instructed public servants to report to work from today. The Sri Lankan consulate in Sydney has been temporarily closed over COVID fears. The Office of the Consulate General of Sri Lanka in Sydney said that the consulate will be closed from the 3rd to the 5th of January 2022 due to identified COVID-19 infection on the premises. All visitors have been advised to call the consulate before visiting from the 6th of January onwards. That's local news for the moment.
In 200 meters, turn left.
This is not just my daily commute. I drive to power my nation's future.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus introduces specialized motor insurance for you who drive our nation forward. Choose tailor-made insurance solutions, up to 75,000 rupees claim settlements within 3 working hours, exclusive discounts through Motor Plus loyalty rewards, easy and 0% interest payment plans.
Only from Sri Lanka Insurance.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
51,000 unemployed graduates will be handed permanent appointments in the state sector from today. Accordingly, 51,000 graduates who are in training will be stationed as development officers at the relevant institutions, while 42,500 of them who have completed 1 year of training will be granted permanent appointments today. The groups that were recruited as trainees in February and March 2021 are due to be handed permanent appointments on the 1st of April after completing 1 year.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And on Watchlight, the implementation of making vaccine cards mandatory for the general public when entering public places has been delayed due to concerns raised by several parties. The decision was to be enforced with effect from the 1st of January 2022. According to Health Minister Keheliya Rambukwella, it will take at least another couple of weeks to finalize everything with regards to the implementation. That's on Watchlight. Moving on to world news headlines. The US President tells Ukraine will respond decisively if Russia invades. Iran calls for UN action on US over killing of Qasem Soleimani. The new Dutch government to have record number of women. We move on to world news in detail. The White House said in a statement US President Joe Biden reassured his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky that Washington and its allies will respond decisively if Russia moves to invade its pro-Western neighbor. The two men spoke on the phone days after Biden held a second conversation in a month with Russian President Vladimir Putin amid tensions on Russia's border with Ukraine. According to the White House, Biden and Zelensky discussed preparations for a series of upcoming diplomatic meetings to address the crisis. Iran has called on the United Nations to take formal action against the United States for the assassination of its top general 2 years ago. Iran says Qasem Soleimani, the then commander of the elite Quds force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, was in Iraq's capital Baghdad on a diplomatic mission when his convoy was destroyed by missiles fired from a U.S. drone. Thousands marched in Baghdad on Soleimani's assassination anniversary. In a letter to the UN General Assembly, Iran called for all legal initiatives in its power, including issuing a resolution to condemn the U.S. government and discourage similar moves in the future. Finally, on world news, a record number of women are due to make up the next Dutch government after the incoming coalition published its list of ministers and secretaries of state on Sunday. An unprecedented 14 of the 29 ministers and secretaries of state will be women, including 10 of the 20 ministers. The four-party coalition will be sworn in on the 10th of January, a record 271 days after elections in March, handing Prime Minister Mark Rutte a fourth term in office. And that's world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
And on development news, the Russian embassy stated Russia has transferred $5.5 million for the World Food Programme to implement projects related to nutrition at school levels. The embassy said it had been done in line with the policy of strengthening cooperation with Sri Lanka in the interest of sustainable development. The money was transferred on the 25th of December 2021.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
And on sports news, cricket. Mohammad Hafiz is set to retire from international cricket, ending a career spanning more than 18 years with the Pakistan side. His international debut came in an ODI against Zimbabwe in 2003, with his last match turning out to be Pakistan's defeat against Australia in the T20 World Cup semi-final last November. The 41-year-old top-order batter and off-spinner played 55 tests, 218 ODIs and 119 T20 internationals while amassing 12,780 runs across formats, and would up his career with 32 Player of the Year match awards, the fourth highest among Pakistan players in all international cricket. In addition to that, Hafiz also earned 9 Player of the Series awards, joint second with Imran Khan, Inzamam and Waqar Yunis. In other cricket news, Day 3 of the first test between touring Bangladesh and host New Zealand at Mount Maunganui at Stumps, the tourists were 401 for the loss of 6 wickets in reply to New Zealand's first innings score of 328, a lead of 76 runs.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
And on business news, as a follow-up to Dubai Expo event, Sri Lanka is planning to launch a major investment drive in the United Arab Emirates in March with the involvement of the Colombo Port City and the Board of Investment. Sri Lanka will be showcased today in a grand ceremony where Sri Lankan products such as tea, spices, handicrafts, gems and many more will be displayed in special stalls in the Sri Lanka's pavilion located in the Opportunity District. As many as 192 countries have put up stalls promoting their products and investments. Tourism is a key area being promoted by Sri Lanka under the direction of Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau. The Dubai Expo event is conducted between the 1st of October 2021 and March 31st, 2022.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
And on economic news, the Colombo Stock Exchange has, by a CSE circular dated 22nd December, announced that the Board of Directors of the CSE has decided to extend the trading hours of the market to 4 hours from its current 3 hours and 30 minutes from the new year. Trading will commence at 10:30 a.m. Consequently, from today, the pre-open session will be from 10 to 10:30 a.m. and the open auction will be at 10:30 a.m. Trading will commence at 10:30 a.m. after the open auction and will stop at 2:30 p.m. as usual. That's on economic news, and we move on to the weather update now. The Meteorological Department forecasts showers or thunder showers to occur at times in the northern, north central, eastern and Uva provinces and in Matala and Nuwara districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Galle and Matara districts during the evening or night. Fairly heavy showers, above 50 millimeters, can be expected at some places in northern and north central provinces. Fairly strong winds, about 40 kilometers per hour, is expected over the northern and north central provinces and in the Hambantota district. And that's the weather update. Heading back to the headlines before we wind up this bulletin of news. The head of state assures to uphold the right of all Sri Lankans to live in peace and harmony by preserving their religious identities. 51,000 unemployed graduates to be given permanent employments in the state sector from today. Overall, over 4 million people have received the third booster dose. The first cabinet meeting of the new year is scheduled for today. The opposition leader calls on the government to embark on a people-centric program in the new year. Sri Lanka's National Day ceremony at the Expo 2020 Dubai is celebrated today. International news: the US President tells Ukraine will respond decisively if Russia invades. And on sports, cricket, Mohammad Hafiz set to retire from international cricket spanning more than 18 years with Pakistan's side. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news, and it's back to Asanka this afternoon to give us some good company, and she'll be doing the request show today, so you can call her with your requests and dedications. Over to you, Asanka.
Thank you. That was Sharif Tahir bringing you the news, and have yourself a pleasant afternoon as well, Shari. Well, of course, the time is 33 minutes down 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We've got India Today segment coming up, and afterwards it's going to be lunchtime music, and of course I will be taking a request from 2 to 4, that is on 011-269-4316, and await India Today after these messages.
Financial aids for manufacturers of the coconut-related products. To make drying grounds for the coir industry, 400,000 rupees will be provided. To organize and upgrade existing drying methods for the coconut oil industry will be provided with 600,000 rupees. To install an environmental-friendly burning furnace for making coconut charcoal, we provide you 100,000 rupees. And all other informal industries opportunities will be provided with 10,000 rupees. Sponsored by the Coconut Development Board. Call 011-7499-999 for further details. A message from the Coconut Development Authority.
Bright
strengthening the future of both village and city. Millions of rupees for the development of the nation, strengthening the agri-heart of the nation, prospering lives, ensuring safety. Presenting the highest cash award, strengthening the nation, Mahajana Sampatha, ensuring prosperity. Mahajana Sampatha from the National Lotteries Board.
Well, here is today's segment of India Today, and we have news from WHO. Amid global surge, WHO chief says we can end COVID-19 pandemic in 2022 if, and a series of dots. With coronavirus cases on the rise again globally and the Omicron variant slowly seeping in almost every country, the World Health Organization, WHO chief, is hopeful that the pandemic can end in 2022. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the Director General of the Global Health Today, or the health body, said, I quote, "If we end inequity, we end the pandemic," unquote. Hitting on countries over vaccine hoarding amid rising cases, the WHO chief said that narrow nationalism and vaccine hoarding by some countries have undermined equity and created the ideal conditions for the emergence of the Omicron variant. The longer inequity continues, the higher the risk of this virus evolving in ways we cannot prevent or predict, he further said. In a statement issued at the world welcomed 2022, the UN health body chief said as the world enters the third year of this pandemic, I'm confident that this would be the year we end it, but only if we do it together. Call it a threat to decades of progress made in healthcare, he said. Millions of people have missed out on routine vaccination, services for family planning, treatment for communicable and non-communicable diseases, and more. The head of the World Health Organization has expressed worry over the new cases, that he is worried about the Omicron and Delta variants of COVID-19 producing a tsunami of cases between them. First reported last month in southern Africa, it is already the dominant variant in the United States and in the parts of Europe. Moving on, we've got more news from India Today. Well, of course, I guess that's all we have for today's segment of India Today. No, we do have some more as well, I suppose. Yes, so it's going to be on softwares. India aims to become key semiconductor manufacturer, PM Modi said at Sydney Dialogue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday, November 18, said that India is building the world's most extensive digital public information infrastructure. This is among the 5 important digital transitions taking place in India, he said. He also said that India is now focusing on hardware and aims to become a key semiconductor manufacturer. So it's not software but hardware. PM Modi was delivering the keynote address at the Sydney Dialogue, an initiative of the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. Over 1.3 billion Indians have unique digital identities. We have the world's most efficient payment infrastructure, the UPI. Over 800 million Indians use the internet. India is one of the largest consumers of data per capita, Modi said. So that's on India Today, and we will continue with lunchtime music, and of course it's going to continue until 2 o'clock, and at 2 we'll be starting your choice request show for this Monday. You're listening to Radio Sri Lanka. Time is 38 minutes down 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Good afternoon to you.